we're back.
Oh, hello.
Back from our holidays.
It's been a while.
Yep. Actually, yeah, how long has it been? It must be at least 6 weeks or something.
Have we done one? Did we do one after Christmas?
I can't even remember.
In the week before? Because I only had a week, didn't I, in between coming back from the UK and going to India.
I remember us just talking about going away. So maybe we did.
Don't know.
I remember the Christmas tree being up in the background. Anyway, we're back. So Sharon's been to India.
I have.
And if you've seen my videos, you know I've just been to Morocco. So we might have a little bit of a chat about that. Because we haven't caught up with you. We've caught up, but we haven't caught up with you.
It's true.
But first off, that's Lottie.
Lottie's in the toy basket.
Yeah, we haven't heard any of Sharon's dreams of all this time, so do you want to tell us what dreams you've had recently?
Well, do you know, they haven't been that exciting lately.
Oh.
I have got some,
That's a letdown.
but normally I have loads.
Yeah.
I've just been going into work, doing some admin and coming home.
This is a dream.
So they've not been that exciting, but I did have a couple of exciting ones. Right, I dreamt I was in a theatre.
Right.
And someone I used to work with, Emma...
Bat?
Yes, Emma Batts.
Right.
Who Jan also knows.
I doubt if she's watching this, but hi Emma if you are.
Was acting as a special actor or like an acrobat sort of show.
Oh, okay.
And her wife. They'd been perfecting a balancing act. And they picked me at the audience, and I had to lie on my back and have my feet taped in a special way. So my feet are up in the air and they're being taped. And then they went round all of the audience and taped them up in a special way. And then we had to make a huge tower of people. It was very impressive. We all enjoyed ourselves, I remember that. And other people in the audience mostly seemed to be children, toddlers, and they all took part. And the theatre was actually in the assembly hall of my secondary school. Yeah. It'd
be interesting to speak to Emma and find out, has she ever done any acrobatics?
I don't think so, but you never know. People have secret identities, don't they?
She could be having a midlife crisis.
Do you want one more and then I'll leave the next one? Well, this was poo based.
Oh, nice. Okay.
For some reason, every time I went into a room, there was a poo on the floor.
Nice.
It wasn't clear in the dream whether it was a pet or a child. But I just spent
that had done it. Yeah,
I just spent the whole dream, whether I was doing some work or being a mum or anything, just picking up poo in every room I went into.
See, that's the cats for you, isn't it?
Well, it could have been cat related.
Got in your mind.
Yeah. So there you go.
Well, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So yes, we came back just over a week ago. Sharon's been back about a month.
Yes, more or less a month, yeah. So 16th of Jan I came back.
So how was your holiday anyway?
Well, as our guide said, it was a tour, not a holiday.
Oh yes.
So there wasn't a lot of relaxing going on. It wasn't that kind of holiday. But it was amazing. I'd wanted to go to India for a long time. Yeah, it was.
You went with Saga, didn't you?
I went with Saga, and it was a singles holiday, so not dating singles, just solo people.
But it is a good, because that was just another option, wasn't it, to go as a single person or go
as a couple
as
or
a
whatever.
couple. Yeah, so I think that's really good because at least you're ready and you know that you might just make some friends, which you did.
I think if it's obviously going to go on my own, whichever option I took. But if you go on your own and then it's just a load of cosy up couples, what do they call them in Bridget Jones? Smug couples.
Oh, did they? I don't know if I remember that. Yeah.
It was a load of smug couples, and that's no fun for me, really, is it? They're just going to whisper to each other at the dinner table, you know.
Although some of yours weren't necessarily single, were they? But they were there on their own.
Yes, yeah. So there was a lady whose husband has dementia, so she holidays alone. There was a guy whose partner has long COVID, so she doesn't travel. So yeah, there were people who were just travelling alone. There were a fair few widows, given the age range.
Yeah, sadly.
And sometimes just people like me who are on their own and like to travel. So yeah, it's a fair old mixture.
But I was surprised because Sharon said it wasn't what you call a sunny holiday.
No.
It was, although it wasn't cold, really, was it?
No.
It's just,
Yeah, it was, given that at the time I was away, it was like -2, -4 here.
yeah.
It was obviously a lot warmer than that, but it wasn't sunny. I was in a lot of cities, so there was a lot of cloud and smog in some of the cities. Sorry, I've got Fisherman's Friend in now.
Fisherman's Friend, just hopefully stop her coughing. So,
but it was about.
but I was curious. Sorry, I just remembered. I was curious when Sharon said about the smog. I said, like, did it smell? But you say it doesn't. I just visualised this real horrible.
No, there wasn't that kind of smell. It was just, sometimes it was just low cloud and then the smog meets it. It's not really, what causes the smog is not like traffic or industry. A lot of it is, especially in Delhi, because they're surrounded by countryside. It's where the farmers burn off the crops at the end of the season.
Right, yes.
So that causes a lot of smog. It wasn't that bad. There were 2 days, one in Delhi, one in Jaipur, where I actually wore a mask.
Right.
But otherwise it was all right, and the temperature was...
Was that your choice to wear the mask, or they did suggest it?
No, they did say to us before we went, you might want to take a few masks with you, because sometimes there are days like that. So all of us had like half a dozen of the masks with us. Some people wore them, some people didn't.
Yeah.
And about 18 to 22 degrees.
Yeah, so it's not... Yeah, that's about similar to what we had, yeah.
But not sunny, that's the difference. A lot of that, even when it was 20, it was still very cloudy. So it's just the way it goes, isn't it?
Yeah, I must admit, because I said to you earlier on, we're trying to already plan our next winter because it was just knowing how bad it was here. And that makes me wonder now, is that going to be similar to where we were talking about Sri Lanka, is it?
Sri Lanka's, I was in northern India. So India's a huge country. And Sri Lanka's right on the bottom.
So it could be very different, couldn't it?
A lot further south than I was in.
Right.
Yeah, so Sri Lanka's on the end of southern India.
Right, okay. It's just another idea we've had. If you know of anywhere that's really good to go for January, February, temperature-wise, not too high, really, just nice, just comfy, let me know. We've got a few ideas, but...
Yeah.
So what was... Because you was on a tour, so you weren't at any one place for very long.
2 nights was the longest.
Was the maximum.
And any hotel, yeah.
So when you were staying 2 nights, did you go out during the day to see things and then come back to the hotel, or was it? Oh, you did.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was like one excursion, then you were left for a day on your own.
No, I mean there's this little fly thing there. No, I think if anything, I wished it was a bit longer, and we could have done those sort of things, because every day was an excursion.
Right.
So there wasn't any rest days. So it was mainly hotels in the evenings. Sort of, there was always, probably got back about 5ish, had dinner, and then the evenings were free. Some evenings we were so tired because we'd been up early. We were going to bed at 9 o'clock. Depends on what kind of day we'd had.
Yeah.
There were a couple of times where there was massages and swimming pools in the hotels, because they were swanky.
Did you have any massages?
No, because in order to do that, you had to dip out of one of the excursions.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, well, I'm here for the excursion, so I'm not going to do
that.
It's
a shame it wasn't planned into it in a way.
Yeah,
wasn't
so
it?
if they'd made it 2 weeks rather than 10 days, you could have had a mixture then. But it wasn't that kind of holiday, really.
Well, that's like say, because we're planning next year. A lot of the brochures and lots of sites we've looked at, very often they're talking about 3 days, 5 days, 10 days, and to me, now, 2 weeks is it's about as short as I want to do.
Yeah, well, you
I've
really
I've got greedy.
Yeah, you really
Yeah.
enjoyed that. You were there for 4 weeks,
Yeah,
weren't you?
and it just made such a difference because you always feel like your holiday goes too quick, and then when you're on holiday, especially with Duncan, you feel like you've got to do so much in those 2 weeks because
Yes.
we're not the sort of person to keep going back to the same country again and again. We want to see what we can while we're there. But because we were there for 4 weeks, as you see in the videos, it's cat food.
I realised because I changed the time, it's going to go off again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Today. It'll only be today.
Anyway,
Anyway, Lottie's pleased.
the time went off an hour early, so they've got two lots of food today. But yeah, so because we had 4 weeks, you didn't feel like you got to rush out and fit all this stuff in.
Yeah.
So it did mean you had lots of time to chill in between. And I said in my video, I've never seen Duncan chill.
Yeah, he's not a chiller, is he?
No. At home, he's not normally a chiller at home, and when we're in Italy, we didn't have time properly to chill.
No, it's
just he wants to do it all usually, but I'd never. It was like I was away with a different Duncan because he was doing exercise, and I mean, since he's been back, he's even been for a walk with me and Sharon. He never does that. He's gone into fitness mode, if you like, but it's not always possible because of work. We were fortunate that we could, because of Duncan's work, choose to stretch our holiday, do 4 weeks, and we were worried we'd get bored, but no chance.
Yeah.
No chance.
See,
it was really weird after 2 weeks to think,
still got another 2.
I've got another 2.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever been on holiday for 4. I've done 3 weeks.
We did 18 days in Italy, which is still not quite 3, is it? So, yeah.
Yeah, that was not relaxing.
No, exactly.
Yeah. So no, I think I did 3 weeks camping in France
All right.
in the summer holidays with the kids a couple of times. So that was nice. Yeah.
The
I've gone the other way since I've been older. I really like the week-long holiday now.
The only thing I'm worried about now is that at some point 4 weeks is going to be too short. I'm going to get greedy. But
this is when you emigrate again.
Yeah. Anyway, it's but yeah. So we are planning the next one. But about accommodation though, everywhere you stayed, I think you said something about nearly all sort of plush hotels.
They were all 4 or 5 stars. They were swanky. I mean, I'm not used to swanky hotels. I don't tend to have those kind of holidays, but they were amazing. Quite big, modern hotels, most of them. The one in Agra was a little bit more traditional.
You got photos of some of them, haven't you?
Yes,
all of
if
them,
you want to put some on.
Yeah, I'll show you some of Sharon's hotels.
And again,
didn't you have a one with the bathroom where you could look through to the bedroom?
Yeah, it had a big glass
because we looked
window.
at one online last night, and we were saying we can't understand why people worry about that. If you're with your partner, what does it matter that they can see you on the loo?
They did have a blind. You could pull down a blind as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry, you were saying.
I don't know what was I saying.
You're on about the swanky hotels.
Oh yes, and because I was on a solo holiday, I presumed we'd perhaps have single beds or.
And you had this giant bed.
And they were huge. I mean, they were suites some of the time.
Wow.
With sofas in.
Well, you did a video, didn't you, of
yes,
one of the rooms?
I sent to the kids.
Yeah.
Because I sent it and said in the video that I thought it was bigger than Fee's flat.
Yeah.
It really was big.
Yeah. And were the beds high?
Some of them were, yeah.
Because our bed was high, and I was thinking that of short people like yourself.
Yeah.
How did they get on them?
Yeah, it was like pole vaulting.
Yeah.
But they were lovely, very, very plush. Again, I keep using the word swanky. Reception areas and fountains and beautiful gardens. It really was lovely. And of course, you're then contrasting that with kids who are living on the streets in some of the cities. So
yeah. And I think it must be a bit.
Yeah.
You feel a bit guilty, sort of thing. But at the same time, I mean, it's not the sort of hotel you would normally book, is it?
Not at all.
It just happened that's how it was. But I'll put some pictures on to show you. See, we obviously was only in one place, one room.
Yeah.
But the room itself was nice. Again, I'll put pictures in. I'm going to do that because I forgot to put it on the video. It was a nice room, and it for once it was what it said online. You know, sometimes they take the pictures when it's all new, and then when you get there, but it was, and I think they'd refurbed in 2020, so it was fairly fresh. But yeah, it was still a nice room, and again the high bed, which I loved, and not a hassle for me to get on of. But we did talk to some of the other people who on site that was short. And especially the elderly people that were short, and I did say, how do you get on? Well, I have to sort of get one bum cheek on and then throw myself on.
Yes.
Yeah, it's bizarre, but no, it was lovely. And our obviously because you weren't there for long, they would have made the bed every time more or less anyway, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
But but ours, they came in, and they had the sign about do not disturb or don't change the. It didn't matter whether we put that on or not. They came in every day, made the bed. You could tell each time there was a different person that made the bed, because sometimes they made my little nightie into a butterfly. Sometimes they just folded it and put it on the pillow. And sometimes they folded the duvet back. Sometimes it was really up. The only thing I didn't like was they always tucked the duvet in at the bottom. And it wasn't quite long enough.
So then you're pulling it up.
Yeah, so I had to keep getting out and pulling it out underneath the mattress to reach up to the top of the bed. And a lot of people did complain that the pillows were too soft.
Yeah, I don't like a soft pillow, I must admit.
So people were just saying, we could hear other people saying it, and they just said that was the only problem they had was one pillow wasn't enough, two pillows was too much. So, I mean, even Duncan did that, as he's done it on many holidays. He has one pillow with a rolled up towel underneath to give him the right height. So it wasn't unusual for us, because he's fussy about his pillows.
Well, I had a whole range of towel animals.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
So there was one day when I had 3 different towel animals.
Didn't you have one with a monkey hanging? Yeah.
A monkey hanging off the lamp.
Yeah. Crazy.
But there was a turning back service, which I never understood.
I don't understand. Surely you can flip your duvet back yourself, can't you?
Yeah, they'd come around and say, would you like turn down service? No.
Maybe, was it for tips? I
don't know.
I don't understand it.
Us, we left a small amount of money with our guide at the beginning, and she did all the tipping, so we didn't have to worry about it or feel bad about it or anything. So a couple of times I said to the guys who came round and said, I'm sorry, but our rep's going to do the tipping, so they lost interest in us after that.
I know it's sceptical, but I do hope they did get it.
Oh God, yeah.
So he wouldn't have pocketed that himself, or she wouldn't. Oh, good. Because they can't help but be sceptical sometimes, can you?
Yeah, no, I don't think she would have done that.
But overall, you had a good time, and
it was amazing, because you're going to somewhere like that because it's a very different way of life, different culture, different history. And I learned so much. Our local guide was just so knowledgeable, and I learned a lot of things about Indian culture and the culture of the country that I just didn't know. And
you remembered it all?
And no.
I was going to say, because I
over there is a book on India, because I'm trying to write in my. I started a travel diary when I went to Vietnam, and I don't always remember to do. Like, I forgot to do Italy, even though as I've used the travel diary again, I've got loads of mementos from Italy in there, meaning to do it and haven't.
And you leave it too long, and it's
gone.
Yeah. But that's why I said you need to look at the videos, because they're on everywhere we went in order, so that would help your memory a bit.
Yes. So so I'm trying to do it for India now. So I saw a lot of the history of India was really interesting. I didn't realise that India was occupied before the Brits got there. It was occupied by the Mughals, who were from Afghanistan. So there was a whole history I didn't realise. And also I didn't realise there were still so many Muslims who lived in India, because I've watched Gandhi. And you see partition, and that's when Pakistan is made after Second World War. And
what do you mean you see partition?
What happened, India used to be India, Pakistan.
I'm not very good with history.
Yeah, India, Pakistan and Bangladesh was all India.
Right.
Until after the Second World War. And when India was given its independence from the Brits, it then divided. So it's called partition. So
that's where
it divided into India and Pakistan, and then later into Pakistan and Bangladesh.
I visualised you said that about partition all over India. There was partitions.
Well, basically there were, but they weren't made of, MDF.
MDF or brick, maybe.
Yeah. So you see in Gandhi the film, you see, because Pakistan was a Muslim country and they wanted their own country. That's how Pakistan was created. So you see a kind of pilgrimage of Muslims out of India into Pakistan.
Right.
But there are still a lot of Muslims that still live there.
Stay.
Yeah. And I went to the biggest mosque in India, which was very impressive. I saw some beautiful buildings. A lot of the buildings are either sandstone, so that lovely sort of brick colour, with beautiful decorations, or they're marble.
And that was in one where it was all red. Where was that?
Jaipur is known as the Pink City. Yeah, because it's either sandstone or painted pink.
So I mean, you sent us some photos while we were away, didn't you? And I just remember thinking, wow, it just looked so pink, sort of thing, didn't it?
Yeah.
You did say it was dirty there, but it didn't take away the charm, or?
No, I didn't think it did. I've got friends who are currently in Jaipur and they're not as impressed as I was. But because I saw people every day with their little shop and they were sweeping everything away. So they were trying to keep their little area clean and tidy.
Yeah, so it's not for one of trying, no.
But there was obviously not much litter pickup, or,
That's the worst thing when you see films about India, isn't it? It's the piles of... And they take other people's rubbish as well, don't they?
I don't know if India does.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But I think some of it's to do with the caste system, in that maybe people think that litter picking or picking up rubbish is below them. I don't know.
Oh.
But, that was a shame. But I mean, how can one person clear up, 150 water bottles? They can't. It needs something corporate, doesn't it?
But nothing else. They should all be made responsible for their own, and maybe fined if they don't, or something.
Yeah, I don't think there's much of that going on.
No.
Yeah, but I still love the city.
So you went to Jaipur, you went to...
Agra, which is where the Taj Mahal is, which was amazing. And I went to Delhi.
Yeah, because you said you see it in pictures, but you can't comprehend just how huge it is.
Yeah, it's very big. And it is still beautiful white marble. And the grounds are amazing. Yeah,
Is it cleaned often or something, or is it just the way it is? Do you know?
No, a lot of the sort of main historical buildings we saw are UNESCO heritage sites.
Yeah.
So they're maintained by the UN. So they're very, and obviously it generates a lot of income for India for tourists.
Yeah, it's one of the main
things. But they were all very, very well maintained, all going through renovation. It's a bit like, Westminster or Big Ben, or they're all well looked after, aren't they? Yeah.
And you went to see tigers.
That was in Ranthambore. Yeah.
But that wasn't quite as...
Well, we just weren't lucky, you know. Again, my friends are out there now, and they've had immaculate pictures. They had tigers virtually walking in front of them. But when I was there, we could see them. They were hiding in the grass, but we couldn't get lovely photos of them or anything.
Sharon sent me a picture, and I just squinting, you could
Trying to see the
just about see this tiger in the grass. Such a shame.
So, you know, it's just the lack of...
Did you go very early in the morning though?
We did both.
I thought you did, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that made a difference with the
No, and there were
pictures.
different zones. So we tried different zones. It's just luck. You know, the tigers aren't controlled. Then they're out in the wild. So if they're not in your area that day, they're not in your area. So
they don't want to be seen.
No. And yet my
Fair
friends who are there at the moment have had tigers walking in front of them.
Yeah.
But we saw lots of other lovely animals, wild deers and wild peacocks just up in the trees, and crocodiles, owl babies in the trees, and storks, and it's a national park, so it's not zoo-like at all. They're all in their natural habitat,
where they live, and
you drive around hoping to see them, you know.
Was that in like a safari sort of jeep or something?
Yeah,
or was it,
this thing was called a canter. I can put a picture up if you like. And it's kind of a lorry jeepy front. And then there's like seats.
Oh, you did show
behind.
us. Yes.
It was a rough night.
Yeah. Well, when we did our fall before, it was a rough ride, but I don't think it was like that. It was a bit, we were enclosed. Yeah,
we weren't enclosed. So when you see me in those photos, I've got a jacket on and a blanket over my legs because it was 5 o'clock in the morning. The first one we did. Yeah, and it was cold. It was cold, and we were out in the open air. You know, with nothing to shelter us.
I'm trying to think what else you said you went to see.
Yeah, so I started in Delhi. I did New Delhi and Old Delhi, and we did a rickshaw ride in Delhi as well. And then we travelled to Agra, which is where the Taj Mahal is. Then Ranthambore for the tigers, then Jaipur, and from Jaipur back to Delhi. So it's called the Golden Triangle. So. But it's all northern India, so even though I saw a lot, I saw a very small part of what India has to offer, really. Yeah. So if I did go back, I'd try and go
to another part.
Yeah, further south.
What about food-wise? What was your food like?
Spicy, yeah.
That's surprising, because you always hear that Indians don't really like it too hot.
Oh, no, it was hot.
Surprising, isn't it?
Yeah, no.
I was always led to believe that, because they always have it spicy in curry houses in UK, don't you? But they said they only do that for the Brits because they don't have it that hot.
There are things that, like chicken tikka masala doesn't exist.
Oh, really?
It's a British invention.
That's one of my favourites.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there are things that have been adapted for Brits. But no, I mean, the hotels we were staying in, you could have, if you wanted, a very bland European meal. You could have had just croissants.
If you're boring.
Exactly, and things for breakfast. There was always eggs and omelettes and scrambled eggs for breakfast, and you could have had maybe plain rice and a bit of chicken in the evening. But we were all like peering in the pots. Oh, what's this curry and that curry? And there were names we didn't recognise.
It smelled wonderful.
Yeah, they weren't names we would recognise as in our curry houses. So we did spend a lot of time going, is this spicy? Is this a milder one? Which is the mildest one tonight? Because when you...
Did they not have English labels on at all?
No, they would have the Indian name and maybe have it in Hindi as well. And then it would maybe say lamb with tomatoes or something like that, but it wouldn't tell you the level of spiciness. So there was some very spicy ones and some not so spicy ones.
So there was lots of water being drunk, was there?
There was a lot of water being drunk. We had a few people that got what is called Delhi belly.
Oh, really?
So there were 24 of us, and I think 4 ended up being ill.
Do you think that was because of the spice or because of...
I mean, you don't know. Some of them were having spice. Because, again, if you wanted to, you could have curry 3 times a day.
Yeah.
You know, you could have had a spicy breakfast, spicy lunch, and then a main meal, and then...
I'm not sure about a spicy breakfast.
No,
Weird,
I was
isn't it?
trying to have just one spicy a day, and I tried to have that for my evening meal.
Yeah.
But you could have gone over the top, couldn't you?
Yeah.
You know,
Could you
so.
imagine your stomach when you're not used to it, though?
And they say don't drink any of the water. So.
Yeah.
And it's not only, we were drinking bottled water all the time, but you've got to remember things like if you're having a salad, then it's maybe washed in the water, don't have ice cubes in your drinks, that sort of thing. And brushing your teeth, you'll just automatically go to use the tap.
I've got something to tell you about that in a minute.
Yeah.
But we were quite lucky because we was obviously worried about that even in Morocco. But we did ask, was the ice made with bottled water? And they said yes. Admittedly, you're taking their word for it, but we didn't ever get an upset stomach.
No.
I didn't have that much salad, to be perfectly honest. I was too tempted by the non-salad section. Duncan did, and he never got an upset stomach. So
No.
I think they were genuine about that. But Marie Claire, one of the ladies we met on holiday, she was saying because she did a volunteer type thing in Uganda. I think it was something like that. And obviously there they couldn't drink the water and everything. But they said, don't drink it, but it's fine to clean your teeth while you're using that water. Because they said just having that little bit of water to clean your teeth almost builds up your immune system.
Yes, yeah.
So
I
that
can see it might
so that
do.
you're less
Yeah.
likely to. So that's what they did, and she said, "I never got an upset stomach."
I had one evening where I was loose, let's say it that way, but I wasn't unwell. I think I just had a really spicy meal that day.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing is,
wasn't
the
ill.
whole reason they use spices a lot of the time is because they have to have such cheap cuts of meat, isn't it?
Well, it was
and it's to
it was a
make it-
preservative like we
Yeah,
use
yeah.
sugar or salt. They would have used, and you know, it's natural. It's things from their region of the world.
Yeah.
So, you know, they've always had spice in their food, and they sold it to us. So, yeah, but very much an experience. So
Yeah.
tell us some of the places you went to in Morocco, because you did have days out, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, again, watch the video. But I did a first. Obviously, I went on a quad bike, which is the first thing I've ever done, and I just absolutely loved it. I was a bit nervous before I
Despite
went.
watching A&E. Haven't you seen when a quad bike falls on someone?
No, I haven't. I didn't then.
But don't watch that
it's-
before you go.
But yeah, I mean, some things I do because I know I don't want to hold Duncan back, because quite often, like, he'd like to go on a bike ride, when I find bike rides quite painful in the nether regions.
Undercarriage.
Yes, so we don't often do things like that, and I should do, because I know he likes that. But I think he's been a while since he's been on a bike. He might find it tough, I don't know. But a quad bike, I thought, surely I can do that. And I was a bit, as I mentioned in the video, I was a bit concerned because I thought it was going to be another, like when I did my first horse ride. Can you imagine the width and your legs being over? And so I ended up, when I did horse riding, I ended up with cramp in my buttocks and my thighs. And I thought, I do hope it's not going to do that. But I think I did that in mind because I'd sort of relaxed into it. I can remember sitting and bouncing more rather than doing this.
Tensing up. Yeah.
So, and it obviously worked because I was absolutely fine, other than, I think it was either that night or the next day, my groin did ache a bit. Because obviously as you're bouncing, you're going to do a little bit of just holding on sort of thing. But no, I absolutely loved it. It was, but I mean, got absolutely filthy. Don't know why, but I wasn't expecting that. I didn't expect to get so dirty. And it was funny because when, at the end of it, I was just on such a high, like the adrenaline, and they sort of used the leaf blower to blow the dirt off us at the end.
Yeah.
But obviously we were still dirty, so we just shook off everything we could so that we didn't at least get in the car filthy dirty. And then when we got back to the hotel, I just got in the shower with all my clothes on because I thought, I've got to rinse this out, and it was just made more sense to make it contained. So I just showered off, got all the dirt that came out of my clothes. So I washed all that out, then took them off, and then showered myself. And then Duncan hung the clothes out, and but he didn't. He took his off. I said, "You did missing a trick. That was a good idea."
Should have gone in with it on.
Yeah. So, but no, that was really good. Crossed my mind to do a camel ride, but then I'm a bit funny about that. I've seen too many videos where poor camels can't get up off the ground because the person getting on it is too big, and I don't want that embarrassment, basically. And I just feel like they're being, what's the word when they're using them for?
Yeah.
I can't remember the word.
Not abuse, but
you know what I mean.
Something in between.
Basically,
abused.
yeah. I don't like the fact they use them just to make money. It's like you hear them doing it. Well, we said while we were there, people had been to Marrakesh and hated it because all the animals and that were just used for their money making, basically.
Yeah.
And they said they had snakes on the ground with a concrete block on it to hold it down while they got on doing photos with something else. And because people said, I can't be seeing this. I'm not.
No.
And they just didn't. They didn't. They've just told everybody don't go there.
Well,
which is a shame.
There were elephant rides in Jaipur in the Amber Palace, and yeah.
See, I don't know why I wouldn't feel quite so bad about that, because they're a big,
I know, but
tough animal, but you're going to get old ones.
And,
Used too much.
And I think, oh God, how long have they been having to do that?
Yeah,
you know?
it is hard, because I mean, in my mind, I'm still thinking the experience would be great, but no, I'm not going to use their health to to make my experience better. So yeah, there was quite a few places obviously that did camel rides. We did a 4x4 a day out, which was a lot longer than we expected it to be, actually, but it was all usual, going across the sand dunes and everything, bouncing about all over the place, and see lots of stuff on the way. One thing was a little bit annoying is because everywhere you went they wanted to take you to the, I've forgotten the name of the oil, argan oil factory, or we went to one which was a silver factory where they made filigree jewellery and stuff, which was absolutely beautiful. But if we wanted to go and see that and we wanted to buy that, we'd asked to do that.
Yeah.
But you had no choice, you had to go on their little route.
Yes, we had a little bit of that. We went to a carpet making, rug making, and it was an industry of inlaying other stones into marble.
Oh yeah,
Some people on my trip did buy things and had
you
them
said
sent
some of
home.
them bought tables or whatever. Yeah. I'm trying to think what else there was that they wanted you to say. Oh, the other thing was the goats in trees. That was something that quite a lot of the trips did en route.
Yes, yeah.
But I was absolutely thrilled to bits with that, because I'd seen pictures of it and everything, thought it must be unreal. And Renee, one of our viewers, said to me this morning, I've always seen that in pictures and I always thought it was photoshopped.
Yes, yeah.
And she said, I can't believe that they really do that. And she said, how cute is that? And it was amazing.
You
Again,
went to
in the video,
a zoo,
it was
didn't
incredible.
You, or?
We went to Crocker Park.
Crocker Park, that was it.
So we went to see crocodiles, and that again was, even though it's a zoo as such, it was, the animals weren't treated badly. It was all for them, and they were bred in that, in captivity and bred. And we had got some pictures of crocodiles. I think they were 3 months old, but they were like this size and amazing. And I was really shocked how many eggs. I can't remember how many it is now. Something stupid like 60 eggs they can lay, something like that. So it was really interesting. But also, what we're like with our gardening. The gardens around it was lots of palm trees, cactuses. Amazing stuff. And then within that there was geckos and Camino dragons just wandering around the gardens. It was incredible.
Yeah.
So but it was another thing that got me over a fear at the expense of someone else's fear, which is a bit sad. That he said if you go up there's a bridge where you can see the whole park on there. So I thought, oh great, we're going up there, thinking we're going across, And he gets this bridge, and it's a rope bridge, and because it's like that, and there's this big wound rope on the bottom. Some of them had a single big bulky bit to walk on, and some were two. So my nerves got a bit. I thought, because I've been to one of those go ape things and didn't like the rope bridge, but because these two women behind us were quite scared about it, I thought, no, I can do it. I can and I did it, but. That once I say I think there was 4 in the end, with different slightly, but you couldn't fall off because they was roped on both sides.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere.
I mean, you could get, maybe your leg could fall through a hole or something, but you couldn't fall anywhere. And when you look down, it really wasn't that high either. But yeah, these two ladies, bless them. I think one of them had to get off because she cut herself. She, like as you get older, you got very fine skin. She cut herself and she was scared. So then halfway through, she got this cut and had to turn around and go back. And then we had to call the guide to come and get her down because that was a bit awkward. This other lady, it was almost like she was a bit like me. You thought, no, I'm going to do it. I'm on here now. But she, when she was younger, apparently had a very bad experience. So you can understand why she was a bit scared. But these rope bridges it was just, because I thought, they sort of went, as you can imagine, they sort of went on a slope. So you got on them down like that and it levelled out, and then you had to go up a bit of a slope at the other end. So that was, you had to really pull yourself up. So in the end, you sort of did it faster. So you got your momentum and then did it. And so I had to say, because those ladies were a bit scared, I thought, I can do it.
Good for you.
And I did. So it was I'd say it was a first, because I never got on them before because I was too scared. So yeah, but there was the bloke there they had got this pathway with all papyrus down the pathway, and he was then discussing about the Egyptians and papyrus, how they based the pyramids on the shape of the stem of the papyrus, which I didn't know.
Oh, right.
Because it's triangular, I didn't know. And they said, and from that they decided that was the best shape to make them. And obviously the pyramid. So yeah, and then he did a demonstration on how to make paper. So it was quite good.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Other than that, went to the local marina, went to the local souks, which were obviously just mind-blowing because there's just so much there. And as I said to you, it's the bartering. We didn't like the bartering. We're no good at bartering, and
I'm no good at
I can't. If someone wants a price, we're stupid enough sometimes to pay it. Although, But anyway, yes, all that was all good, and more experience. The mint tea. We had quite a lot of mint tea because that's the local drink, if you like.
Yes.
And for some reason, there's posters around. They call it the Moroccan or Berber whiskey. A bit bizarre. So not like my whiskey.
Definitely not. No.
So yeah, it's.
I had an Indian malt whiskey while I was out there.
It's funny you say that because we bought one in
Nice.
Peru. I forget what it's called
Indian
now.
one.
Yeah, we didn't realise it was called Paul John or something.
I'll have a look.
And we had that over Christmas, and it was quite nice because it's not, while the ones you like are quite harsh. This was okay. It was not bad. Don was trying to look for it the other day, but we didn't see it. Yeah, Paul John, I think it was called.
Oh, I'll have a look.
But yeah, when we noticed on there, I thought, this is an Indian whiskey.
There you go.
So yes, that was. So
we've all had adventures, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
Jan's going to do this every January now.
We're definitely going to try. But at the moment, because it's so cold, all we're thinking about is the next holiday, and poor Duncan's got to work to get the money to pay for these holidays. But he wants to go as well. He doesn't like the cold and the rain any more than I do.
No,
so
normally doesn't fare that well in the winter, does he?
No.
So some of that sort of sad, doesn't he?
So
it did him the world of good.
That's right. So at the moment we're looking maybe the end of the year, trying to do something October time, September, October, and we keep looking at the Canaries again, and we did look at like I said, Sri Lanka and that, but we might
Thailand you looked at
and Thailand,
well.
but we were thinking more the Thailand and Sri Lanka maybe might be better for the January, February. So, but
long flight.
There's Tunisia as well was another one we thought about, but.
That was
we
a bit
will
of a
make a
shock.
decision eventually.
We were talking about Tunisia earlier on, and I was saying, it is a while since I've been, and then we worked out it was 40 years.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God.
The last time Sharon went to Tunisia, she was in her 20s. Yes.
40 years ago, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So it may have changed.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
This video has become about 40 minutes-ish, so I'm going to stop this one here, and then we're going to do the nosy jug and a bit more chat, maybe in the next one.
We'll have some lunch, maybe.
And maybe have some lunch. So we'll see you in the next one.
Jackie's got some eggs for us.
Oh, is she good? Au revoir.
Bye-bye.
Stop recording. Stop recording.